of the year and play well.
With Primo and Lemieux is Lindros. Otto with Tkachuk and Bill Guerin. How long do you think it'll be before the first hit? The defense for Canada, Scott Stevens and Eric Dejardin. Bill Guerin moving on Stevens and turning away from him. Got out of the way of the hit attempt of Keith Primo. It's hurriedly put back in again by the U.S. defense, and it's Dejardin getting out of the way of the hit of Tkachuk.
Mitch pushing and shoving immediately. Claude Lemieux in the lineup. Guerin and Lindros. Claude Lemieux is put in the lineup here.
Guerin and Scott Stevens, teammates from New Jersey.
Guerin and Primo, gloves off. Here they go.
This is a rematch of a scuffle between these two in one of the exhibition games. Primo has wrestled Guerin down. It is Claude Lemieux across the way, squaring off.
Well, he's got a visor on, and Tkachuk is with him, and Tkachuk has a bandage on his left wrist. He does not want to hurt his hand on the visor of Lemieux. And baby, the big boy started the game, and this didn't take long to explode. Tkachuk, oh, he's got Lemieux's helmet off. Lemieux landed one. Oh, baby.
We are 20 seconds in.
There was a hit on Guerin just inside the Canadian blue line. That seemed to get everybody's emotions even higher, and then the puck moved down to the other end, and there was an offside call, and everybody's emotions just exploded. The fans are standing, chanting USA. Oh, man. That's why we talked about Keith Tkachuk in the open, Mike. He's the type of player that just doesn't back up, and he's a skill player that can score 50 goals in one NHL season. He's that good. Look at his left hand. He's got the tape around the wrist. It's a sore wrist thumb. You don't want to be caught hurting that early in this tournament.
Let's see how this all began.
Leach and Lindros meet there. Now the whistle sounds for offside, and it's mostly started by Lemieux. He goes right over to Tkachuk. That's where that got started. And then Guerin and Lindros. Of course, Scott Stevens is going to go into Guerin because, and they play on the same team. I mean, it's amazing. They play in this, I mean, we're talking New Jersey Devils.
Exactly.
Teammates, years and years and years. But when you put on the jersey that represents your country, forget the past, baby.
Yeah.
We're going forward here.
The past yields to passports.
Didn't take long for Claude Lemieux to get involved.
It did not. Claude Lemieux tried a little gamesmanship in the warm-up again tonight, and this time Team USA was waiting. It's his idea to shoot the puck down the ice at the end of the warm-up into the vacant opposition net. But the stop was by Sean McEachern.
And you know that was talked about. Claude Lemieux did it against the Russians, and the Russians had all gone off the ice. McEachern stayed out there just to be sure, so the superstition of Claude Lemieux would be broken. Man, what an explosion here to start this first period.
If there are major penalties here, these will be the first of the tournament.
Well, I think there's, Mike, if there isn't, it should be an investigation.
If these are finessed off to double roughing, and I don't think even Paul Stewart, a referee who loves fights, I don't think even Paul Stewart would call these double roughs. 5 minutes fighting. Keith Tkachuk, check that. Keith Primo
12, Bill Guerin
has been tossed.
Of Team USA, 5 minutes fighting.
Terry Gregson, the referee,
Team
getting
Canada,
tough early.
Penalty number 22, Claude Lemieux. Team USA, penalty number 17, Keith Tkachuk. Each 5 minutes for fighting. Penalties come at 20 seconds.
Now, Keith Primo should not be out because for instigation now, you only have a situation where before you would be tossed out of the game on your first instigation penalty, but now you're allowed 2 in the course of a game. So if there was an announcement about him being tossed, that was incorrect, and I apologize too. Downstairs to Jim Fox.
Mike, really interesting. Chris Chelios, you mentioned, he's sitting right behind me, did not take the warm-up tonight. So during all of that delay after the fight, he went onto the ice, he did the stretches, he tried to do a couple of sprints back and forth. So Chelios, hey, he doesn't get a chance to take the warm-up, he finds a way to do it.
Right now, there's a big discussion going on at the penalty box with the teams about Primo, I think, and maybe about Tkachuk. He now is being pulled out of the penalty box. Mike, we were told that the rules for the upcoming NHL season would be in effect for this tournament.
Yeah.
So, but if Primo is thrown out, that may mean the rules will not be in effect until after the tournament and the preseason starts for the NHL.
Well, that's why Mark Messier is down there. Let's listen to this again.
Number 17, Keith Tkachuk, Team USA.
Okay, a little more confusion.
Yeah.
All we have heard is that the World Cup rules will be the same that the NHL will have.
Team Canada, number 17, Keith Tkachuk, Team USA. They have 5-minute majors for fighting plus game misconducts.
Wow.
For the second fight.
And number 55, Keith Primo, Team Canada. Rather than a game misconduct, he has a 10-minute misconduct.
So now we're squared away.
There we go. Now, if Primo gets another instigator, he then is tossed. So there will be a change in the NHL format for the upcoming season. And because it was a secondary altercation with Lemieux and Tkachuk, after the original fight had started, they had a secondary fight, so they got the game misconduct. Losing Keith Tkachuk like that early, the 22nd mark of the first period, is devastating, I think, for Team USA. Claude Lemieux is a competitive type player, but I don't think his loss will mean nearly as much to Team Canada.
Keith Tkachuk, one of the alternate captains of Team USA, and he will be missed. He's a part of the big bashing line with Joel Otto and Bill Guerin. So a power play coming up for the United States. And I was saying, when are we going to see our first hit? We still haven't seen it. There weren't any big open ice hits, but did we have a lot of the other?
A couple of knuckle sandwiches there, maybe. Team Canada 3 for 7 in game 1 against Russia on their power play. Basically, they get the puck back to their pointman, to their defenseman, and they send the forwards to the front of the other team's goaltender and try to screen him. Adam Graves is very good with deflections. So for Team USA, with Leach and Hatcher on the ice, they have to be strong in front of their own goal to kill a penalty.
So it is Leach working out with Amonti. It is drilled back in by Kevin Hatcher. Jammed around behind. Keith Primo's minor penalty is the outstanding one. Kevin Hatcher controlling this. Pittsburgh Penguins recently acquired defenseman cannot shuttle it through, and so Canada clears it back down.
Let me apologize, Mike. A USA power play, and they're similar to Canada. Jam the front of the net, use the big shot from the blue line.
Puck flipped ahead and turned around by Graves, trying to work as Messier. Messier able to hook it back across. S.Stevens hammers it back down. So it is Leach with 1:12 to go on the power play. Brought back up ice and ripped back in. That's done by Br.Hull. Hull, number 15, around behind the net, but now going to it is John Leclere of the Philadelphia Flyers. Puck outletted across, taken by G.Souter. Hands it on the turning stick of Hull, then across for Mike Modano, who tried to slam it in and failed. Dom Foose guides it ahead. And it is played safely back, but it went off Adam Foote. No matter, Canada retreats, 40 seconds still on their penalty kill.
Aggressive penalty kill. Team USA has not been able to set up the power play inside the Canadian zone.
They try to flip back in. G.Souter, whose brother Bob was on Team USA that won the gold medal in '80. Passed one on a cross that is hung up at the line, and we'll have an offside call with 18:01 to go in the first and 21 seconds still to kill.
First shift for Chris Chelios, paired up with his Chicago partner G.Souter. So they're working the power play as they do in Chicago. As a unit, they now go off the ice in favor of Schneider and Leach. Team USA not once able to get the puck into the zone and then control it to set up their power play. There's Chelios now talking to his teammates on the bench to try and figure out what went wrong. He's talking, I think, to Br.Hull at the other end.
Puck flipped back off by Rob Blake. Corralled by Matthew Schneider. Schneider from the Leafs. Leclere of the Flyers for Team USA. Flipped on along by Brian Smolinski. Kept alive by Leclere. Cross body. Back up ice comes Team Canada. Out of the box. Having served the minor was Fleury, but they couldn't get it to him. Tap back in, and Brian Leach takes it. 2.5 gone. First period of our game. We are glad you joined us tonight from the beautiful new Core State Center. 19,500 seats, and all of them filled by enthusiastic fans as Grettzki centers, and it ricocheted on Richter as he tried to battle it and play a stop.
That puck ricocheted and rolled up his right arm, but Richter didn't panic and was able to control it. He talked about, Richter did, the boards here, brand new, much quicker than the old Spectrum where the Flyers used to play. Much quicker. Gretzky's first shift. Puck deep in the zone. He'll get to it quickly here, and the puck will roll right up the arm. Right there of Mike Richter. He didn't panic, calmly settled down and took care of the puck. He said the glass here has partitions where the puck may jump out a little bit, so he's got to be careful. The yellow portion on the bottom of the board's very quick. He said the puck, when the puck goes wide of the net, it ricochets back out front quickly, so be ready for it.
This is Dom Foose. Missed for Grettzki. Grettzki flips back. Dejardin with a shot. That one controlled by Deadmarsh, but not completely. And so it's Stevens back in. Teams are at full strength, no score. Big hit by Deadmarsh. G.Souter will turn back to play it. Those of you who've seen the new arenas in Vancouver and Ottawa will notice that there are no glass supports on the glass, but here they have them.
They have them mainly because here they have so many events throughout the year that the other glass is so much heavier, Mike, they can't take it in and out all the time. With this type of glass, it's easier to do it. Therefore, they can change over their arena and have more events without having problems.
The glass panes here, the tallest ones, according to Jack Oakey, the assistant manager of the arena, weigh about 75 pounds. So the ones in those other cities, much heavier. Thrown out in front for a quick shot by Coffey that was saved. Lots of jostling. Dom Foose put it in on goal, and Richter covers.
Canada controlling the boards. Even on the penalty kill, they controlled the boards. Here they control the boards. USA hasn't gotten it going yet. This is how Canada has controlled the boards. Linden is not held up by anybody. So he moves into Chris Chelios, and how often do you see this? You don't. Chris Chelios getting knocked down. Canada a little bit bigger than Team USA, and the hitting so far is shown. Shots on goal, 3-0 Canada to this point.
Lifted high by Scott Young. Brought on, nice move to get locked up. Wait a shot, and a pad stop, Brodeur. Loose puck came back over. Here's Wade again. Wade by one and a shot, and that one blocked down. Wade once more. Fed one in front. Brodeur struck down the shot. Darian Hatcher taken to the corner. Two aside battling. It skips behind, and it's Wade, but then picked up by Joe Sakic. Team Canada on the offense. Taken down. It's T.Fleury, and play continues. Richter around to Br.Hull. Moving on is Smolensky. Across to Scott Young. Young turning for Team USA. Pass tangled in skates. Smolensky centered, and that's sticked aside by Brodeur. Matthew Schneider recovers at center ice, and now Team USA is getting it going.
And because of Doug Weight, they got it going. A couple of marvelous plays, and Martin Brodeur gets his first two shots.
Leclerc denies. Smolensky, but they score!
Glass, the puck was in front, and a couple of nice passes. Look at USA, move the puck up ice. Quick pass, get it in deep, and a crazy bounce off the glass. Leclerc stays to the right side. Look at the pass to Leclerc, and he finishes it beautifully. Smolensky with the primary assist, Leclerc with a tap-in goal. Team USA takes advantage of those glass partitions we were talking about, Mike. What a nice pass by Smolensky. Bullseye to Leclerc, 1-0 USA.
Wait till you hear this announcement from public address announcer Lou Nolan. Puck rolled back in. Going back to get it is Kevin Hatcher. Slammed to the boards, taking it away. Working it along further now is Linden. Fed out in front, and that one tipped aside.
Team USA goal scored by number 10, John Leclerc.
with a pass on out. But it is swept back by Matthew Schneider. Pat Verbeek bringing it on. It is Messier, Pat Verbeek, and Ë.Lindros now. We get a stoppage of play, and the puck had been touched by a high stick. 5:43 gone, first period. Leclerc's goal, the only one.
Team USA had nothing going for them. They were getting outworked and I think out-muscled for a while along the boards, and all of a sudden Doug Uwaight and his line got on the ice, carried the play. Quickly Smolинski's line got on the ice. They scored a goal, and now for the third line in a row, you have Mike Modano on the ice. So they're trying to get 3 in a row going. Lindros not yet able to throw a big hard body check. There's Modano who touched the puck with a high stick, and the whistle sounds.
Puck lobbed ahead. S.Stevens, New Jersey's captain, flipped that one on. Bouncing puck over to Philadelphia's Eric Dejardin. Dom Foose trying to turn it away. Now Grettzky scoops one up the wing. Trevor Linden unable to get by. Dom Foose tried to play it further. Skip from Modano. Quick shot by Dom Foose is saved by Richter. Now Modano unable to get by the good checking of Vincent Dom Foose. Trevor Linden could not come up with it. Back ahead comes Modano again. Cannot get through the defense. But around is Deadmarsh, and he put it off the outside of the goal. Controlled around behind and fed for Deadmarsh again. But it's Grettzky advancing it back out, and Dejardin flies it back in wide and high of Richter. Just over 6.5 gone in the first period. John Leclerc, the only goal in the game for Team USA. Puck knifed away by Adam Foote.
Foote exploded with a check, knocking the USA player into the player's box, and Foote was too aggressive. That's a big kid in Darian Hatcher. Foote with a good hit, but he kept pushing and shoving and hitting more and knocked Hatcher right into the Canadian player's box, and he now gets 2 minutes, does Adam Foote. That's a good call by the referee. It's good to go out and hit, but you can't do it just too much. You've got to control yourself somewhat. There's Hatcher on the puck. Here's an exploding hit by Foote. Bang. So watch him continue and continue and continue and continue some more. Enough's enough. Now Foote gets to cool off for a couple of minutes. Team USA had their first power play, did not register a shot. And the main reason, I think, was because Team USA never controlled the puck along the boards in the Canadian zone. The Canadians won the one-on-one battles for the loose puck. This time, we'll see if Doug Uwaight, who's a marvelous playmaker, center for this face-off, and see if he can control the power play.
Ammonti and Hull are the wings. Kevin Hatcher and Leach, the point men. It's shoveled back out by M.Messier. Messier and T.Fleury, check that, Rob Blake, a part of the penalty killing. Adam Graves is also out. And also S.Niddermaier. Moving ahead with it, Ammonti. Shakes it back. Controlled by Uwaight. Feeds it across to Hull. Hull with the big shot, but well watched by Messier. Turning with it is Brian Leach. Leach mid-ice shot. Deflected in front, and it's chipped wide. Sent around for Hull. Looks for Leach, but can't get it there. Leach put it behind. Doug Uwaight controlling. Uwaight just holding deliberately, challenged by Niedermeyer. Shot by Kevin Hatcher is tipped to the seats, and play is stopped. Terry Gregson, the referee, called the penalty on Foote. John said it was a good call. I agree, but there hasn't been much agreement with Terry Gregson from across the Atlantic today.
Oh boy, the Swedish head coach, Kent Forsberg, who was the father, by the way, of Peter Forsberg, the superstar with the Colorado Avalanche, accuses Canada of cheating in winning their first game. I tell you what, that's like accusing the National Hockey League of cheating. And I think for Kent Forsberg, enough with the tears, be a little more professional and quit complaining about hockey over here and the way the Canadians and Team USA, well, he didn't say about Team USA, you play it tough in North America. If he doesn't like it, don't come across. Stay home and quit whining. That's very, very disappointing to hear that.
Big shot is deflected to the glass. Moving to it is Smolинski. Just missed from Modano. Chelios tried to keep it in. This is all on a delayed offside. The penalty clock has stopped, so that will have to be checked. But it is frozen at 1:10, and now they pull all of the penalty time off. The auxiliary board shows 37 seconds, so we'll go with that. A 1-0 game. Team USA on the power play. Not much going on it right now. Martin Brodeur slugs it away off the glass. Kept alive by Chelios. Back to Suter. Then on for Chelios. His shot deflected. Picked up by Trevor Linden. Linden for Team Canada puts it out of play near Team USA's bench, and the clock stopped.
Big hit by Leclerc into the partition right at the bench of Team USA. I think that's Trevor Linden who's down. Man, watch this one. Linden's on the puck. He goes to move it, and from behind, Leclerc hits him into the boards. That should be a penalty. You cannot hit in this league from behind. Even though Leclerc, or in this tournament from behind, Leclerc holds up somewhat. Thankfully, he still did hit from behind, and he will get a boarding penalty, and that too is a good call by Terry Gregson. In game one, let's admit it, Terry Gregson was liberal with a lot of his calls. He didn't force the refereeing and make the calls on every play. For instance, Shanahan only getting a minor instead of a major, even though he was suspended later. In this game, it looks like Terry Gregson's going to be much firmer and is not missing anything. He's calling everything the way it should be.
Good point. Going into that game between Canada and Russia, John, would you have expected as much hitting as you expected coming into tonight?
Absolutely. I think so. I really do. I think when you get at this level with this, with what's on the line here, which is national pride, and the USA, for instance, their program and how much it's improved, Canada, and they've been so superior for so many years. The Russians, everybody wants to beat them, and they now want to beat everybody. As the country Russia, not the Soviet Union or the unified team, as Russia, everybody's into this thing and really trying to give it a run.
It'll be 4-a-side for 17 seconds, and then Canada will get its first power play of the game. John was mentioning that the one trait of the Canadian power play is working it to the middle of the ice and letting the defenseman blast.
With two big forwards in front of Mike Richter is the key. Screen him, get the rebounds, try deflections.
The power play has begun, but Dom Boos is checked off. Just over 11 minutes to go, first period. Team USA ahead of Team Canada in World Cup competition, 1-0. Now Wayne Grettzky has it for Team Canada. Inside the box is Dom Boos. Coffey across for the shot that went wide. Now S.Niddermaier, just 23 years of age, celebrating a birthday today. Lindros turns it along, and then he is sent flying. Kept alive by Niedermayer. And it's back out.
How about that? Darian Hatcher levels the big train. Eric Lindros. Kevin and Darian Hatcher, two big brothers on Team USA, but Darian's much more physical. He loves to hit.
Darian Hatcher, a little guy, 6'5", 225 pounds, and only 24.
And he is showing up in ill humor here to Mike tonight. He's in ill humor.
Lindros took a swat from Chelios. Puck followed up by Wayne Grettzky. 40 left on the power play. Big one in front, deflected, score! A ricochet and a tie game.
You know, Mike, it looked like Lindros was going to get nailed by Chris Chelios between center ice and the blue line. And it looked like either Lindros looked up at the last second to avoid it, or Chelios didn't finish the play. You're going to see right here Lindros get the puck. Watch him in a moment from Grettzky or from foot. Now watch Chelios here, miss him. Now Chelios, number 7, drives back, and as he drives back to the net, his stick will hit the puck in behind Mike Richter on the Grettzky attempted pass across to Lindros. There's Chelios coming back. He puts the puck in his own goal as Grettzky tried to hit Lindros with the pass. So all of a sudden, we're 1-1 with Canada on the power play scoring.
Niedermayer and Lindros get the assists on Gretzky's goal at 9:53. By the way, the Leclerc goal was assisted by Amonti and Smolинski. We've had some scrapping and some probing, and we've got a tie game at 1.
Now 1 goal, 2 assists in not quite 4 periods of play for Team Canada in the tournament. By the way, when he moves to New York, we'll be living in Manhattan as a Ranger going into the upcoming season. Very excited about it.
Well, he'd have to be close to M.Messier, wouldn't he?
And Brian Leach and Mike Richter and a number of the players that live in the city. The other members of the team generally live north of Manhattan in the Connecticut and Westchester County area of New York.
It'll be an icing touch-up, Dejardin. I was talking with Barry Stafford, the equipment guy who sets up the locker room. And I said, do you have any priorities when you take care of Team Canada? He said, yeah, Wayne Grettzky and M.Messier go in the middle of the room. Everything else just sort of falls into place after that. But they like to be in the middle where they can make eye contact with everybody.
You know, they were talking about Grettzky to Wayne, about Wayne passing the torch. He's getting older, 35 years of age. Joe Sakic, Eric Lindros, these types of players. He said, you know, I kind of like to hold on to the torch a little bit longer, but every once in a while, that big Eric Lindros, he just reaches over and grabs the torch, takes it. What am I going to do?
Well, he's in on this face-off right now, the big fella. You have to think that without Eric Lindros, this arena is probably not built. Because you have to attract the people that are going to come and take care of those special super boxes and are going to pay the extra price. And without Eric Lindros, there isn't that major drawing card here, and there wasn't before. So maybe this place isn't built. Eric Lindros to the corner. Crunched up along the boards by Doug Uwaight. A little extra help there came from Derian Hatcher. And it's Eric Dejardin. On to S.Stevens with 9:10 to go in the first period. Team USA won, Team Canada won. Russia has won today over Slovakia, playing its first game. That score was 7-4, and Germany, earlier in the day, surprised and humiliated the Czech Republic 7-1 to stay in the tournament and to eliminate the Czech Republic. This jammed around by Brian Smolinski. So it is coffee. What do you get on the tempo of this game right now, John?
It seems right now that both teams are becoming cautious, Mike. A lot more neutral zone play. I think Terry Gregson put the hammer down as the referee. Now they're just trying to establish their style of game. What we're seeing is a lot of one-on-one battles here with no odd man rushes at all.
So it's carefully played. Foot trying to take care of Amonti, but he bowls his way by. Tony Amonti from his knees got into the back. Swung right to the corner by Chelios, and it's thrown all the way back down beyond Grettzky. Mike Richter has fallen, traps the puck, and then scoops it on over to G.Souter.
Tony Ammonti showing that the leg that he injured, the knee that he injured in the playoffs, is not bothering him whatsoever. No surgery needed. I think Chicago Blackhawk fans are very happy to hear that. He is flying out there.
Shoveled on back, Sniedermeier going back to play. There's no icing here. The puck escaped Bill Guerin's reach, and it started on to T.Fleury. Fleury across for Joe Sakic. But an offside call. 7:42 to go in the first. Our game here is tied at 1.
Hey, they're not going to take a backseat to Canada?
We're definitely not going to get pushed around by these guys.
All right, Keith, thanks very much.
Although Keith does not recommend this at such an early age, you might be interested in knowing his first fight was at age 7 in youth hockey. We do not recommend it either.
No, I imagine he got tossed out of that one too, I would think.
So. Puck jammed on now off Bill Guerin, kept alive by Fleury, and that one went wide.
You don't like to talk about fighting that much, but when you play tough, you establish yourself on the ice and buying space. And when you buy space, you can score 50 goals in a year if you're a power forward like Keith Tkachuk. M.Messier has lived by that theory, and I think Eric Lindros will too.
M.Messier checked by Guerin, so it's Scott Sniedermeier up with it. Sniedermeier with some open ice. Just shovels it back in and obediently goes to the bench on a shift change. The puck along to Lindros. Lindros pumped it off the glass around behind. M.Messier has it there. Centering pass was blocked. Brian Leach up with it. Captain of Team USA fed it ahead to Derian Hatcher, and Hatcher flew it back in. Brodeur sends that one away.
And Lindros finished his hit on Hatcher, a payback hit.
Centering pass by Uwaight. Came out in front. Hooked toward the net by Scott Young, but blocked by the defense. Uwaight stood up by the hitting of the bigger S.Stevens. Puck tipped along and fought for by Lindros. Good follow-up play as it's walked ahead by Adam Graves. Rangers winger drops it back to M.Messier. Messier, nice move to work his way in. And then around behind, we get the net dislodged and play stopped.
And Derian Hatcher made sure the net was knocked off the mooring, as it looked like. Feel good about their chances now, though. There's Lindros moving into the net. Hatcher's seen a lot of Lindros in this first period. You see the collision with the net. Look at Hatcher. Make sure the net's off the mooring. Messier made a great move around Br.Hull to get open, try and set up the offense.
It is Chelios. Played right back in deep once more. Trevor Linden did that. Puck around to Dejardin, who threw it wide of a pair of players, Don Foos and Chelios, who had him tied up. Good thumping hit. Puck brought ahead up the wings. Attempt to feed it across. That time was Denmark, and then sent it in front. Steve Walchuk trying to play that one. Rolled around to Stevens. Banger line is out there. Denmark and Walchuk, who just rammed in to Vincent Domfus. In the center on that line, Joel Otto.
That was a short shift, but a good one for Team USA. Joel Otto could not get his foot into a skate this morning. It was too sore, yet he's able to play tonight. And Walchuk with a big hit on Scott Stevens.
This is Grettzky, but it's a neutral ice. Ron Wilson had mentioned that he was concerned about matchups, but not the way some coaches often are about forwards.
He didn't want forwards against forwards. He wanted his defense pairings against forwards. He said it's easier to get your offense going with your forwards as long as you match up your defense pairings against the other team's forwards. And he's had a lot of Brian Leetch and Darian Hatcher against Eric Lindros when Lindros is on the ice.
It is Fleury trying to work it ahead and getting it to Sakic. Good wrist shot is held by Richter.
A great shot by Sakic. Richter had to close the legs quickly. One of the great wrist shots in all of hockey belongs to Joe Sakic. Pick your man up and stay with him. Look at Chelios. The puck goes right past Domfus, but Domfus had a stick tied up nicely. Good defensive play there. And here you see Sakic. Look at the wrist shot. Oh, he just snaps the wrist, and Richter stayed well out, and he still had trouble with the shot. Tricky wrist shot. A quick release by Sakic.
Leetch and Darian Hatcher, the defense now, opposite Lindros, who just put some lumber on Leetch. And an offside call.
Now, the first 3 shots of the game went to Team Canada. The next 3 shots of the game went to Team USA. And the last 3 shots of the game here in the first period have gone to Team Canada. So again, we're seeing things slow down a little bit. Lindros moves across. It's been Hatcher and Lindros. It's been some matchup already in this first period. That's Darian Hatcher, by the way, not Kevin. Darian, the younger of the two. Brian Leetch has been the other defenseman against Lindros. Almost every time Lindros has been on the ice, that's been the matchup. Messier getting double shifted a bit here. Mike is 2 centermen on the ice at the same time. Lindros and Messier, of course, with some changes with Claude Lemieux not around.
Foot bounces it back in. Mike Richter blocks the bouncer. It is off Scott Young. Scott Young out of Boston University. 15 members off the 26 USA rostered members are college hockey players. Many of them having played in Olympic competition too. So playing for their country is not that unique to them. Puck fed back over to Messier. Waits. To the back for the big shot is saved by Richter.
Oh boy. Doug Waite and Lindros, opposite centers, had some battle on the boards. Waite lost his helmet. He's talking to the referee about it. But Lindros got to the front of the goal and had the deflection. This is where it started. Hip on hip, battle for the puck. Real battle for the puck. Waite will lose his helmet here now. The puck's kicked away. Lindros now has to get to the net. Get away from Doug Waite. Waite's holding the stick, but when Lindros gets loose, little deflection, and Richter's right there. Man, the big drain. Eric Lindros is tough to control when he comes off the boards to go to the front of the net.
Dodge intermission report coming up. Jim Fox will talk to Br.Hull. We'll take a closer look at Team USA along with highlights and stats, all on that new Dodge intermission report. Bill Guerin from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, on to Chris Chelios. Wrapped back over for play to be made further by Adam Denmark, the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. Since Team USA scored at 5:01, they have not had a shot on goal. That's almost 12 minutes of playing time without a shot on Martin Brodeur.
They haven't even had the puck deep very much. The play has mostly been in the USA zone, and those defensemen will tire if that keeps up.
Trevor Linden moves it ahead. The pass clicked off Scott-Niedermayer, laid along by Chelios, and back to neutral ice. Just over 3 minutes to play, first period. If you've just joined us, the goal scorers Lecler for Team USA and Grettzky for Team Canada. It is Denmark, defended by Linden, taken by Madano. Dumped back over. Kevin Hatcher flipped, but that corralled by Rob Blake. Domfus lays it back. Both teams are in the midst of a line change. Matthew Schneider brings it on. Corners one, then Brodeur will step out and decide to play. They tried to reach Joel Otto with the puck, but that failed, so it's T.Fleury bringing it on for Canada. It is Fleury flipping one that Sakic could not handle. Kevin Hatcher Richter couldn't play it, but Joel Otto could. Otto got it as far as center ice. Eric Dejardin walking it on back. Richter allows this one to roll behind. Pumped on around behind by Rod Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour with a centering pass. It's fed over to Dejardin. It's in. Pass stop made by Richter. It is Dejardin again, flipping one. Pivoting with it is Rod Brind'Amour, hammered by a pair. Pinching in is Stevens, lobbing it around behind. Rod Brind'Amour has it. Brind'Amour sent one wide. Mark Messier for Canada. Threw one off Brind'Amour and wide of the net now.
Messier off the bench and he's fresh. Team USA needs a line change here badly. Now Lindros is on and he's fresh.
Mark Messier battling the boards for it. The pass is sent back to the point. Stevens has it there and shoots. And that one's saved. Messier shot and scores!
Mike, 4 of the 5 Canadian players were able to make a change. Team USA could not get out of their zone. They were exhausted. Exhausted. Richter had made one big save on Brind'Amour on the Sakic setup. And then Messier was out, he was fresh. Lindros was out, he was fresh. And you're going to see a great quick shot. There's a shot with Graves in front. Lindros is in front, and there's Messier. They were fresh. They were in the USA zone for a long period of time, almost a full minute. And Messier scores. Canada leads for the first time.
The first goal of the tournament for Mark Messier of the New York Rangers and Team Canada. Scott Stevens and Eric Dejardin pick up the assists at 18:38. So the U.S. struck first. Leclere at 5:01. Then Grettzky and Messier have tied and then put Canada ahead. Brodeur scales one off that skipped on to be cleared back out by Grettzky. Handed on back to Brian Leetch. Darian Hatcher's pass skipped loose. Fed up too far for Leclere. Brodeur put it along. Leclere checked off. Battling is Smolensky. Leclere comes by trying to get it, but it's Trevor Linden going wide. Grettzky, the captain of Team Canada, flips back over for Dom Foose. Dom Foose for Grettzky. Grettzky trying to shake away. Blocked by Ammonti. The pass to the front, and here's a 2-on-1. Tony Ammonti bringing it on ahead. He's got Leclere. The pass to Leclere went off his stick as he was checked by Wayne Grettzky.
It was Grettzky that made the pass from behind Richter, but Grettzky got back.
Back comes Team Canada. Dom Foose to Grettzky. Surrounded by red, white, and blue. Leclere on across now for Suter, and the tempo will likely slow.
The last 15 seconds here. One thing about Team USA, Mike, they're dumping the puck in, but Brodeur is playing it every time. Get it off the glass. Get it away from the goalie.
Great shot. The wrister by Sakic, stopped by Richter, and that's it.
Team USA with only 3 shots in the period, all on a 2-shift flurry. Other than that, Team Canada controlled the period. The bumping, the play along the boards, the pace of the period, it belonged to Team Canada. They have the 2-1 lead.
No tap from Eric Lindros, and then another from Adam Graves. And at the other end of the ice, Mike Richter. You mentioned all the penalty minutes in the first period. Necessary calls by Terry Gregson. You also mentioned the attack that had been leveled by the Swedish delegation on the officiating so far, accusing Canada of cheating.
Yeah, I think it's embarrassing for the head coach of Sweden to attack anybody, let alone Canada, for cheating. This tournament sanctioned by the National Hockey League, the greatest hockey league in my opinion in the world, where players from every country that play the sport come over to try and play and make a great living. Kent Forsberg, the head coach of Sweden, his son, a superstar in this league in the NHL playing for Colorado, does not complain about style of play. A 2-minute penalty over here is different from what they have in Sweden. A hard hit here's a hard hit in North America. In Sweden, a hard hit results in a penalty. They didn't like what they saw in the game with Canada and Russia. And by the way, with Russia complaining about the 2 goals disallowed, once they saw the tape with Brian Burke in attendance showing them the plays and what the calls were and why, even the Russians agreed that they were the correct calls. So for Mr. Forsberg, if he doesn't like the style of play, send your good players that happen to be a bonus for us to watch in the National Hockey League, but you stay home and relax and whine somewhere else. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, go off the shift to decaffeinated at least. Stevens jams this ahead to Lindros. The two disputes were a net displaced before the puck went in, shown clearly by video, and the other was too many men on the ice, later supported by video too. But Russia is 1-1 in the tournament with one more game. That'll be at Madison Square Garden in New York Monday against Team USA. They're playing the first of three tonight. And with this, and a good short side shot by Doug Uwaight. Right on goal and a save made by Brodeur. So already, Team USA is getting an attack going. It is Scott Young trying to center. Puck came on back to G.Souter. Suter lobbed it back. Dejardin to play it there. Guides it to the opposite side for Lindros.
Team Canada had a very slow start to period 2 in their first game of the tournament. And here Team USA looks much sharper. They've created 2 turnovers already. One on S.Stevens, one on Vinny Domfus. But you need offense, and Team USA did not generate those turnovers into a shot on goal.
Adam Foote with a pass. Domfus just steers it back. Chris Chelios flips it back in, and Brodeur had a little trouble, but kicked it over for Foote. Domfus lobs it back out. Skipping puck is taken by Grettzki, who's in. Backhander is wide. Now Chelios ahead for the carry by Ammonti. Back up for Smolинski, who fires, and a save made by Brodeur. Play is stopped, and let's check in downstairs with Jim Fox.
Thanks very much, Mike. Injury report, Team USA, Steve Konowalchuk out with back spasms. He is expected not to return tonight. Now, I think that's important because with Keith Tkachuk out of the lineup in the first period, JD, that's 2 power forwards out for Team USA.
You're absolutely right, Foxy. Thank you. You know, Konowalchuk threw one big, tough, hard hit in the first period, even though he didn't get a great amount of ice time. And yes, he is the type of player when you need a player on your team to get on the ice and go out and bang and show great work habits. Konowalchuk is one of those players. He's done that for the Washington Capitals for a long time. He will be missed along with Keith Tkachuk.
Puck played by Brindamore on a cross. Foote lobbed it back in. Kevin Hatcher tried to play that one, but it's intercepted by Messier. Spun on back. Shot by Fleury, blocked down. Sent aside off of Richter. A good hit on Paul Coffey, that time by Bill Guerin. Play continues behind. It's centered all the way back to the point. Adam Foote with a shot that went off a leg. Coffey cranks one, and that one blocked by the pad of Richter. Joe Sakic up with it. Sakic wanted to wrap around, but was denied by a teammate in Colorado, but not tonight, Adam Denmark. Here's Sakic again trying to turn away from Madonna. Mike Madonna of Livonia, Michigan, all over Sakic. Turnaround shot is deflected into the seats and play is stopped. 2:40 gone, second period. Messier and Grettzki the goals for Team Canada. Leclerc for Team USA.
Another shift with Team Canada. Sakic and Fleury in particular with some good forecheck. And they're doing what we call cycling. They get the puck into the offensive zone and they work the corners. And it's like a bicycle wheel going around and around and around. The forwards go around and around to control the puck. And what they're trying to do when you hear hockey players cycling is trying to get the defense of the other team to get lost in the corner to open up ice for the offensive shot.
Saw Theo Fleury there of the Calgary Flames, just 5 feet 6 inches tall. He said about this tournament, I've played in the league, I've won a Stanley Cup, but I've never really had a personally defining moment. Paul Henderson had it for Canada in 1972. Other players have had it in tournaments like this. Maybe I can contribute that way. Here's Leach, dumping it along. Otto bumped it back further. Flipped on, and Leach will gather again. Matched up on defense with Darian Hatcher. The pass back over for Br.Hull. Primo sends it on to Lindros and then to M.Messier. Has it for Primo. Keith Primo centered just away from Lindros. 3 minutes and 30 seconds played here in the second period. Turning with this is Leclerc. Leclerc got it over to Hull. In front is Uwaight. The pass to Suter. They score! It's Uwaight on the tip, and the game is tied at 2.
Jim Fox talked to Paul Holmgren, the coach. He said, get the puck deep. Be smart about it. Keep it away from the goalie. And then when you get the puck deep, you make things happen. Retrieve it, get people in front. Team USA ties this up with a great low shot from the blue line. and a great deflection. There's G.Souter. There's a deflection, and a beauty it was. As you see the goal scored by Uwaidt, who's been very good. Here's Team USA, puck deep. Get it deep, away from the goalie. Look at the battle to try and get the puck back to the point man by Hull to G.Souter in front of the net. With his stick on the ice is Uwaidt. What a beautiful goal that was on a smart dump in.
At 3:37 of the second, Uwaidt with his first. G.Souter picked up the primary assist, and Br.Hull got the second assist. Leclere hands it over. Centering pass in front, unable to get a shot away was Brian Smolensky. Back with it is Grettzky, hands it over for a play to be made by Linden, and then a shot by Dejardin that had to be stopped by Mike Richter. It'll be interesting to see if there's any sort of change in the tempo of this game now that Team USA has evened it up and started for the first time to play the way they want. 4:15 gone in the second. Our game in Philadelphia is tied.
Arias Kasperitis on Team USA. He can get out there and start thumping people.
A match for the fuse, as it were. 2-2 tie. Bill Guerin for Team USA angles it back. Adam Foote watches as Brodeur slugs it off the boards. Laid back in conservatively by Team USA. Guerin striding on Pomby. Bumped into the boards, and the two went down. Fleury hooked it back, but it's chipped back over for the follow-up by Rod Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour controlling for Team Canada, but then losing. Modano punches it along further. Guerin tries to hustle it on. Kevin Hatcher put it out. Modano unable to step by the defense. Fleury held him back, and Foote played it off. Now it's kept by Matthew Schneider. Manned on the shooting attempt, and is banged to the boards by Fleury. Theo Fleury's pass went under the stick of Rod Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour, a member of the Philadelphia Flyers, collided there with Kevin Hatcher, and the puck ricocheted away from Detmarsh. And there'll be an icing call. Puck sent from the defensive side of the center red line over half the distance and touched by a member of the opposition while the teams were even. So play is stopped, and the faceoff comes back near Brodeur.
Paul Coffey's been hit a couple of times in this period alone. Guerin here gets in with his speed, and he's got a lot of size along with the speed. He loves to play the body. Did a nice job on Paul Coffey. Here's Fleury trying to hold up Modano with a little hook. That's all it takes. If there was any more of the hook, it would have been a penalty. Modano was slowed a little bit. He could not get in on the forecheck. Why Fleury plays a tough brand. He's kind of a role player for Team Canada here. Kill penalties, play the power play, win a draw if he has to. Stir it up on the ice if he has to. Good player.
And all his life refused to listen when they said you're too small.
5'6", huh?
Puck scaled off the glass support. Rolled back out by Graves and moved back on. This is Pat Verbeek. Verbeek fed one over to Messier. Messier took a lumber. Centering pass through Verbeek, and a shot. And that went off the skate. Wiping out with Messier, and here's a 2-on-1. It's Detmarsh ahead with Hull. Detmarsh to Hull. Deflected wide. And sprawling to the ice was Rob Blake. Splendid defensive play. Now Scott-Niedermayer for Canada in this tight 2-2 game midway in the second. A triple header today. This the third game. We hope you're enjoying it. Team USA and Team Canada, entirely of NHL players, about the same size and imposing size. The NHL average is 6 feet 1 and 195 pounds. A pass across two lines is stopped.
You know, when Br.Hull moved in on the 2-on-1, you can see he's a right-handed shot over on the left side. He'll turn his body and face Detmarsh, his teammate. See him turn his body? Now, you've got to be careful with the pass. See how they pass the puck behind him? If they passed it in front of him, he'd be on his backhand and wouldn't have a chance at a goal. At least with Detmarsh on the pass behind Hull's body, he ended up in a great position to get the shot. He didn't get the shot he wanted. He just broke loose. Playing left wing for Team USA. He's all over the place, too. Doug Weight said as his centerman, he said, with Br.Hull, he roams all over the place. You have to adjust to what he does, where he goes. I have to go to other areas where he's not.
Great train hit by John Leclere. Smolensky centers in front. Work back out to Grettzky. Little yank of the backhand pass to Scott-Stevens. Back over to Grettzky. Big drive! And a save made by Richter. 7 second period. Team USA trailing in shots 3-2 in the period as Grettzki twirls with it. Wayne Gretzky's backhand pass was blocked. Swatted at and turned back out by Tony Ammonti. Dejardin put it into the glove of Chris Chelios. Shots in the game are 13-5 Canada. Chelios with a skipper that went off of Brodeur.
When's the last time you saw Wayne Gretzky skate this well?
Well, that first period bit of back-checking when he went past everyone down the ice to break up a 2-on-1 was a splendid exhibition. They say is too old. No. Rolled around for Bill Guerin. Guerin dropped it behind. Big Joel Otto up with it there. Then back over to bulky Bill Guerin. Guerin turning with it, hands it back for Kevin Hatcher's shot that went off the leg of Primo. Messier tries for Primo. The safety is lobbed back to center ice. Matthew Schneider there for Team USA. He drops it back in and Brodeur spikes it.
Certainly been an easier game for Terry Gregson, the referee, since he got top earlier in the game. Oh, baby.
Scott Young just felt Eric Lindros.
That was the 11:49 of the second period. The train had passed.
And that was Young who let go the big blast into the pad of Brodeur. That was Darian Hatcher meeting up with Brindamore. This is Hull dropping it. Way back for Darian Hatcher's shot that was tipped wide. The hitting, the skating, the shooting, and here's Fleury to Brindamore. Brindamore lobs one and swiping at it with his glove and seeing it go by with Richter. A penalty coming up.
The pace was something. Team USA, I believe Doug Wade gets caught. 49. Oh, another hit here as Young moved across and through the body, but this set up an odd man rush for Team Canada, and Doug Wade back checking pulled down T.Fleury. So Doug Wade gets the hooking penalty. Fleury now has drawn 3 penalties in just over 4 periods of play.
Canada with a tremendous power play in the tournament so far. They are 1 for 1 tonight. Smolensky and Otto killing up front for Team USA as Don Boos is in. That one angled behind. Suter and Chelios the defense. Eric Lindros reached for that one. He and Grettzki are the forwards along with Don Boos. Sakic and Coffey the point men. Up back to Paul Coffey. Shoots one. Blocked away by Chelios. Lindros fed one. Grettzki got it to the point. Coffey fires and that hit off Richter after being tipped. It's Chelios for Team USA. Able to get it to neutral ice and now control and send it up for Smolensky. Ryan Smolensky moving in. Sakic's challenge was enough. Smolensky replaced now. Second shift out halfway through the power play for Canada. Coffey cranks the heart around. Mike Richter stopped that one. Brian Leach accelerating ahead. They've got a 3-on-2 while shorthanded. Big drive and it went just wide from Denmark. Now it's a 3-on-1 for Canada. Messier, save Richter. Man, oh man, big shot by Snidermeier is kicked aside by Leach. Wonderful action around behind it's Messier again. Mark Messier with 28 on the power play. Oh, fanning at it the front of the goal. That time was Don Boos. But tipping it was Leach and back on his Denmark. Denmark backhander save made by Brodeur. Mercy around behind. The Canadians able to break back up ice with 12 seconds still to kill for Team USA. Snidermeier moving in along now for Fleury. Tip loose by Chelios and Br.Hull. He picks up Scott Young in a 2-on-1. Pass is slowed. Young up with it. Richter scores!
They were flying out there. Both teams, a dominant shift by Brian Leach. All of a sudden, the penalty was over. They were in even strength, and what looked like a play that wasn't going to work. Young scored, didn't even know he scored. Young and Hull. Hull gives it to Young. He tries to stay on side right here. Almost looks like he loses the puck, but don't quit on it. And then a turnaround blind shot inside the goal post. Young never even realized he scored. Low to the catching glove side on the ice. Just inside the goal post. There it is. What a series of plays, Mike. Odd man rushes, goaltending saves. Brian Leetch making plays at both ends. Wow.
Brodeur flung that one off. Young from Hull at 10:48. Here's a 3-on-2 for Canada. Dom Foose is in for Grettzki in front. Grettzki had to control. Centering toss taken by Matthew Schneider. With a chance of USA. It is Hull getting by. Save made by Brodeur. Scott Young has broken the tie midway in the second period on this play.
Spins around, stays with a puck and shoots it. Hasn't even looked at the goal. Didn't know it was in because Dejardin was in front of him. Then he heard the celebration in the building. Earlier in the exhibition game, he was left wing. Br.Hull was right wing. Young went up and said, listen, Brett, can we change sides? I can't play the left side. Brett said, okay, I'll play anywhere. Where did Young score the goals from? The right side.
Good point. 8 minutes, 35 seconds to go, second period. Glad you've joined us tonight. My goodness, we hope you're enjoying this one. Regardless of your loyalties, it's 3-2 Team USA over Canada. At one point, Canada led 2-0. Team USA got the first one. What a battle. We get a stoppage of play on a penalty call, and it's going to be against the U.S.
Another hooking call. The last call against the U.S. was Doug Uwait for hooking. This time it's Brian Leetch, their team captain, getting the hooking penalty. The last power play for Canada, it was just flat out what I call river hockey. Both teams just went for it, including the penalty killers, led by Adam Deadmarsh of Team USA. I mean, they were just flying. We'll see if the same thing happens this time. Canada comes right back with Grettzki again for the power play. This is Brian Leetch moving in, and you can see there he upended one of the Canadian players, and Terry Gregson makes the call. Sakic this time will play the left point for Canada. And remember, he doesn't take that big winding slap shot very often. He's a wrist shot guy, and goalies have to be ready for it.
Coffey will play the other point with Joe Sakic. Dom Foose will work up front along with Lindros and Wayne Grettzki. Canada 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. This their third opportunity. They are 4 for 9 in the tournament. Grettzki across. Oh, a rocket of a shot by Dom Foose was wide. And it is cleared back down by Chelios. I stand corrected. That was Sakic with the one-timer wide. Pass on now to Dom Foose. Corralled by Scott Young. Help will come from Darian Hatcher. Big defenseman back to play it. Hatcher of the Dallas Stars. Puck fed back off, and it skipped off Sakic. Racing to it is Young, and he's up with it. Scott Young in with Kevin Hatcher, and it's knifed away. Nice defensive recovery back there by Sakic. 1:07 to go on the Brian Leetch minor penalty. Sakic wedged. Could not get further. It's across to Lindros. Could not finesse his way by. Went down. Deadmarsh moving deliberately back.
Marvelous penalty killing. Br.Hull getting a shift here again. Penalty killing to add some offense. Deadmarsh showed speed, and Scott Young showed speed on the penalty kill, and Canada can't set up. Again, they can't set up.
It's like a wall, isn't it? This is Messier. Verbeek hands it across. It's quickly back for Niedermaier, then on to T.Fleury. Scott Niedermaier has it. Niedermaier to Fleury once more. Set up in front of Graves. Big drive. Save made by Richter. Taken again by Messier. Mark Messier. A wrist shot deflected. It went just wide. Oh, it was almost tied. Puck played along behind by Verbeek to Messier. Then back to Pat Verbeek again. Line mate from the New York Rangers this past year. Puck sent right back along for Fleury, then to the point. Dejardin hurries it across. Niedermaier flips one, and it's skipped wide. Penalty timeout. Now it's Fleury hammered to the corner boards. To a side, continue the battle. Teams at full strength. 3-2, Team USA ahead, second period. Hull's pass followed up, but offside by Doug Uwait. Uwait and Young and Leclere for Team USA. Grettzki and Messier have scored for Canada. Back to play, 5.5 to go, second period. Team USA 3, Team Canada 2. Puck went away from Dom Foose. Good recovery, though. He's got it back again. Vincent Dom Foose. Put it around behind to Grettzki. Grettzki out in front, and he sent it off Richter. It's kept alive by Stevens. Big drive. It's slow. Loose puck in front. It's jammed away. Snyder. There will be an icing touch up by Stevens, and play mercifully for the pace of this period stops for a moment.
Pretty good play by Grettzki in behind Mike Richter, and maybe a better play by the Team USA team defensively, and the fact that Grettzki comes out from behind the net on his backhand side. Watch him here. Comes out the backhand side. Everybody in a red jersey's covered. That smart defensive play in front of Mike Richter. And Grettzki unable to find somebody open in front. When he can see all the players in front of him from behind the goal net, he's deadly with those passes to people in front.
Russia turned around the Thursday night game at the end of the first period, and Team USA has done it against Canada tonight. Even strength chances this period. The U.S. 6, Canada 1. Shots are 6-5 Canada. Shots are deceptive sometimes. 16-8 Canada in the game. To the slot for a quick shot that is blocked down. Follow-up cannot be handled by Pat Verbeek as he was defended. Around now near Verbeek once more. Wedged out of the play by Mike Modano, and it's brought back up by Guerin. Bill Guerin from New Jersey. Popping one toward the net. Martin Brodeur flipped it along. It went off of Modano. Played back by Deadmarsh to Modano. Then to Guerin. And a save made by Brodeur. Let's check in downstairs with Jim Fox.
Thanks, guys. When you have a game like this, the pace is going fast. You have bodies flying over the place. One thing that becomes very important, ice time, and how the coaching staffs on both teams track the ice time to make sure you don't have tired players when the game comes to its end. Well, that's where it becomes high-tech hockey. You have a stats man up in the press box with a computer. He logs all game the ice times, not only total ice time, but individual shifts of each player. Assistant coach in the press box relays it down to the bench. You see the walkie-talkie. Both coaching staffs, you see the earpiece right there of Paul Holgren. They get the information from upstairs, down on the bench. If adjustments need to be made, they talk to the players, shorten or lengthen shifts.
Thank you very much, Jim. And what's interesting is they can not only log the ice time, but scoring chances, who was responsible for them. Like right there, Guerin got one, but why did it happen? That can be logged into their computer. They can have printouts and read them at the end of each period to see if one player is responsible for a lot of scoring chances against. Maybe he should sit a little bit, not play. Or they didn't realize one player is responsible for creating the scoring chances, and maybe he should get more ice time. It's high tech.
Well, they've got their guy, and we've got ours, old Scoot Cooper, and he's got it 7-1 even strength chances this period for Team USA with that last shot by Guerin.
Speed a little quicker here in the second period. That's what Team USA wanted. The first period, Canada controlled the boards and the corners. Not so this period. That last scoring chance by Guerin was because Team USA worked the puck out of the corner into the side of the slot for the shot. Team USA much better here this second period at controlling the boards themselves.
T.Fleury's pass sailed by Lindros. No icing. Forced around by Richter. Taken by Hull. Rob Blake out of Bowling Green State University. Hands it on now for Primo, then to Niedermeyer. Back to Blake again. Kick loose by Hull. Handed over to Young once more. Young with a wrister. Fought off by Brodeur. Troublesome shot by Scott Young, who has the goal of decision right now that had broken the 2-2 tie. It is Niedermeyer laying it up the middle, but that kicked aside by Doug Waite. Under 4 minutes to go. Big Eric Lindros. Nice pass, but it was off Fleury. Big shot. It's saved by Richter as Dom Foos let it go.
You know, when you play this level, things happen quickly, but you've got to try and be smart. Two white jerseys went after Lindros. All he did was move the puck because somebody had to be open. And that resulted in the shot on goal. Lindros finds the puck, turns inside the blue line. Watch, two white jerseys go right at him. Right here. Two of them. You only want one there, not two. That meant somebody was open. And Lindros quickly moved the puck, and the shot was taken, and Richter made the save.
In such a spontaneous game as this is, John, and the teams having been together really only since the middle of August, and we're on the last day of it right now, it is amazing that the plays are done as well as they are.
Oh, it is. But we're talking superstars. All these guys. This is the elite level in the world of hockey. The NHL represents it. Man, these guys are just. It's amazing how they can make these plays at such high speed. Lindros just made one.
Of the 26 NHL teams, there are 19 regular season scoring leaders from the past year participating in this tournament.
Here, Grettzky directed traffic. He told Linden to take the face-off, not Wayne, but it was Team USA that controlled it.
All Coffey chased off by John Leclerc. Smolинski moves in. Coffey steps back to that one. It is Grettzky. It is Leclerc. Off by Grettzky. Puck rolled around behind. Adams put after that one. Bumps with Amonti. Smolинski centers. And checking on John Leclerc was Grettzky in a strong defensive play, and now it's Grettzky bringing it back offensively, but an offside pass.
Mike, in watching this period and trying to think about USA and their strategy, it looks like their dump-ins, which have been a lot smarter. We saw them score a goal because of it, trying to keep the puck away from Brodeur. Seems like Team USA is throwing the puck to the right side of Brodeur. All the dump-ins on that same side of the ice to get Brodeur to work the puck on his backhand, not forehand. There was a chance with Team USA trying to jam the front of the net. Leclerc was there. Grettzky's been thinking defense as much as offense so far in this tournament. There he finds Leclerc. Look at the play he made. He's made now 3 great defensive plays. That was one of them in this tournament so far.
Joel Otto couldn't get it. Brian Leach could. Around behind to Otto again. Otto dueling with S.Stevens. Under 3 minutes to go. Darian Hatcher's shot is blocked down. Brought out by Brindamore. Hammered by Darian Hatcher. Will pass across. Corralled and started back out again by Leach. S.Stevens connects over. Dejardin put it ahead for Joe Sakic. Sakic pass to Brindamore. Brindamore around behind. Centered one. Attack taken and just calmly thrown away by Team USA. Bumped along further. Bill Guerin got it ahead. Pivoting with it. It's Leach on the Madonna. Ripper went wide. Madonna checked off by T.Fleury, and the puck turned back out again.
A great pass by Billy Guerin right at center ice. Spot off the check. Still made the play up ice.
Chelios blew it by Young. Young got there first and kept the play alive. Otherwise, it would have been icing. M.Messier leads it on back. Got it on the wing for Brindamore. Brindamore for Messier. Feeds one for Blake, but the shot chipped away. Doug Weight defending there, and the pass came right back over from Messier to Scott Young. 3-on-2 for Team USA. That one hooked away by Niedermeyer and worked by Rob Blake. Team USA in the midst of a change. Big shot by Graves and a pad stop and a cover by Richter with 1:36 to go.
The pace stays at a high level. It'll be interesting to see the third period how Team Canada deals with it. This is 2 games of 3 nights for them, and again, we mentioned it earlier, travel all the way from Vancouver, 3-hour time change. Team USA, they've been on the East Coast, they've been here in Philadelphia a couple of days, there's been no travel. First game of the tournament, they should be ready to keep the tempo up high. Will Team Canada, that's why they wanted short shifts to get as many players as possible into the game to have a lot of stamina left for this third period.
Team USA will practice here tomorrow. There was no ice in New York, or they would have gone in after the game tonight. And as my partner knows, that's not a very far drive.
90 miles, that's it from Philadelphia to Manhattan.
It is Blake shooting, deflected in front, a scramble for it there. Richter did not appear to have it covered, but to Terry Gregson, the referee, he did. And now the pawing that occurs after.
Now they're trying to establish turf here. And the turf for Team USA is around the goal net of Mike Richter, and Team Canada tried the deflection and to find the puck. Team Canada won the draw, fairly clean, and then Blake waited and waited for people to get to the front of the goal. Look at Lindros. He can be dominant on faceoffs. He wins that one. Now he slides to the front. Look at Blake. Wait a little more. And now get it towards the goal. There's 3 red jerseys there. And Richter able to finally hang on and did a good job of it before he got help from his teammates. And then everybody got at one another. Lindros, not only is he big and love to hit like we know, but he's got extremely quick hands. And when he's in a groove, he can win faceoffs from anybody. This time he'll go opposite his teammate Joel Otto, who has been one of the better faceoff men in the last decade of the National Hockey League. So here we go, nose to nose. Philadelphia Flyers, Lindros and Otto.
How many times in practices has this happened?
I don't think they bear down in practice quite like this one.
Not like this. Fed back to the point. Blake with a shot, and that turned aside by the pad of Richter. Angled off a glass support. Messier tried to finesse and front to be swept away by Brodeur. Otto around, but off Leclerc's stick. Lindros after that one. Lindros just tucked it back out. Big hit by Darian Hatcher across the way. Kevin Hatcher tried to crank it back in, and we have a stoppage of play.
Darian took a run at Primo, and then Primo skated by and punched Hatcher right in the kisser. Hatcher here missed with a punch. He got the linesman. There's going to be something here. The original, I think, was going to Primo. There was a big collision. Someone late by Hatcher, and Primo reached out and smacked Hatcher in the nose, and that got him going, and then Hatcher threw a late punch towards Primo and caught the linesman.
Brad Lazarowich is stunned, and
well, he got hit.
Why wouldn't he be?
Yes.
Lindros and Kevin Hatcher.
And Kevin Hatcher just took the shove from Lindros and then got his stick towards Lindros. Players have to be smart here. This has been a great game since the early portion of the first period. In fact, the 22nd mark, when we had all the shenanigans, everything calmed down. They played hard hockey here. And now you've got to try and calm and control your emotions. It's hard to do, but they've got to do it.
You know, Primo, I misspoke. It's Wayne Bonney that got cut. He and Lazarowich were out there, and I beg your pardon, I noticed that it's Bonney that's cut around the nose. I apologize.
Well, he took a shot.
Boy, did he ever.
So Primo's gone. Hatcher's gone. We don't know what the penalties will be. There's 57.2 seconds to go here in this second period. Mike, you have to love this new building here in Philadelphia. It's beautiful. Great sight lines, marvelous. But the glass in this game has had a bearing. The puck does not ring true around the glass, and a couple or three times it's taken a strange carom and changed the game. Now here's Primo. He gets hit by Hatcher. Took a shot up high. Now he'll throw a punch. Boom, right there. That was going to be the original penalty. Hatcher gets up. He's mad. And then after everybody got pushing and shoving, he tried to throw a punch, but he missed the target. He got the linesman and not Primo. The linesmen do a good job here. They jump in quickly before Hatcher and Primo get going, but watch this. Oof. And you know what? In seeing that shot, it would have hit Primo in the back. In fact, I think it glanced off the back of Primo into the face or nose of Bonney. He looks to be okay.
A lot of years of breaking up fights when he first started. The guys weren't as big, but they fought a lot more often.
19 minutes and 2 seconds.
I believe it was 2 minutes apiece.
2-minute minor roughing. Kevin Hatcher, Team USA, 2-minute minor elbowing.
You watch the punch go off the back, I think, there and then into Bonney. It doesn't excuse what happened, but I believe that's how the accidental shot to the linesman's nose happened. Two giant players that Wayne Bonney and Brad Lazarowich tried to stop from getting together.
In case you're relatively new to hockey, an accidental punch like that just winds up being shaken off. There's no penalty for it. However, one with intent is met with suspension. They cancel, and both teams will play with a goaltender in 4.
Getting back to the glass where the puck is going around the glass and it catches a partition and changes direction. As a goaltender, you just have to be smart and stay back in your net. You can't take a chance in a game like this where it's a one-goal game. Beautiful, beautiful arena, and we understand why the glass is the way it is, but as a goaltender, you have to be careful. You can't leave your net and take any unnecessary chances. You can't trust the glass.
A wedding first, a hockey game second. Separated by about 700 miles or so for Chris Chelios today. Didn't take the warm-up, but he's taken the game. Penalty coming up, and it'll be a rare minor penalty on Wayne Grettzky.
As he pulled down G.Souter, make that Br.Hull is maybe his best friend. Grettzky forced the turnover and did a good job of it. Now he continues to go, and you see the hook into Br.Hull. As Hull was trying to kick the puck forward with his blade, that made him easy to pull off balance. And Grettzky pulled him off balance and got the penalty. Man, you just don't see that. See, Hull kicked the puck. That meant he had one skate on the ice, one skate blade, and at that time Grettzky hooked him, and down went Br.Hull. They'll be talking about that one later, I'm sure. Grettzky, with only 34 penalty minutes last season, gets 2 here with 30.6 seconds to go in the second period.
So we have an interesting thing here in a 4-on-3 power play. A goalie in 4 against a goalie in 3. What's the killing strategy? What's the attack strategy?
Well, with only 30.6 seconds to go, you just don't do anything foolish, especially as a penalty killer. Messier speed out there. Be smart about it and don't take any unnecessary chances. As far as USA goes, with Brian Leetch on the ice with Chelios, Leetch can jump into the play here. Now there's only 23 seconds to go.
Uэйt and Leclere are the other players out for Team USA. Martin Brodeur, the goalkeeper, sweeps it along, but it's taken by Leclere. Leclere fed one out. Chelios working it to the side. Right back from Uэйt. Chelios fires. Save. Rebound. And it's skipped wide. Turnaround shot. They scramble for it at the side of the net. Puck control by Team USA. 3 to go. It's Leclere. Across. They'll have to hurry. Save. Brodeur. And the second period comes to a close.
And we'll have some more of this. 4-on-3 to start the third period. Brodeur again, the Team USA dumping the puck to his right side. He fired the puck around the boards and the USA player was standing there waiting for it. Look at Chelios dumping it into this side, the right side. Now Brodeur has to get to his forehand, has to turn his body and fire it back around the boards. Well, there was one of the USA players over there waiting for it. Now they can set up their power play and go to work and be calm about it. With a 4-on-3, Leclere was the man that stopped the puck along the boards, and he goes to the front of the net. Man, was USA close to scoring a power play goal and a 2-goal lead.
So here at the Core State Center, the building is watching Patrick Waugh play for the Canadians. He saw a lot of games. I don't think he had to pay for many. His dad was team photographer, Mike Richter, who grew up just 45 minutes away from Philadelphia Spectrum across the parking lot. And from here, it is a goaltender and 3 for Canada, a goaltender and 4 for Team USA. Ron Wilson looking on, coach of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim and the coach of Team USA. Glenn Sather, president and general manager of the Edmonton Oilers, general manager and coach of Team Canada. So the first handle was the block by Richter, and the take now by Chris Chelios. It is Doug Uëйt. In 50 seconds, both teams will get a man back. But the USA power play will continue, a 5-on-4. They get it set back up to Chelios. Looks over to Hull, gives to him. Big blast, score! A scorcher! 4-2.
And that was a power play goal for Team USA. The dump in by Doug Uëйt. The goaltender got to. But Marty Brodeur did not fire the puck high enough off the glass. Here's the dump in. Brodeur got there. Watch the goalie. The Team USA players go to the boards. They keep the puck in the zone. Now it can happen. 4-on-3. Br.Hull now, you don't even see him. He's going to get into shooting position. What a pass across the Hull right here. And in the patented Br.Hull slap shot. Top corner, accurate shot, over the shoulder, bullseye. What a shot by Br.Hull and a 4-2 lead now for Team USA.
25 seconds in.
Remember, Mike, Br.Hull drew the penalty. He also scored the power play goal.
1 assist accorded on the goal by Hull, and that was Chris Chelios. So the advantage for Team USA is a whopping 2. 19 shots to 14 Canada in the game. Puck laid back ahead now for the carry by Tony Ammonti. Ammonti trying to finesse foot, went down, got back up to play and put right on him again. Smolinski tested by Paul Coffey. Smolinski trickled one that came on back. Handled by Chelios, taken by Smolinski. And lobbed back in near Brodeur. Shift changes for both teams. Teams are back at full strength now. Played along by Schneider. Turning with it is Hull. Laid ahead for Uëйt. Big drive and a pass stopped by Brodeur. Lindros sees it taken ahead. Messier nicely on to Keith Primo with Lindros breaking. Finesses by one, but can't control as defending was Kevin Hatcher. Lobbed on along near Hatcher, forced it back up the boards and went to get it. Good close off on Primo, and it's a 4-on-2 for Team USA. Play breaks down, and so Canada regroups.
Early in the third period, 4-2 USA, 18-10 to go in the third. Will Team Canada start taking chances? Send Coffey and Niedermeyer into the play.
Lindros with that shot that was blocked by Richter. Puck just angled back down on Martin Brodeur. Slugs it back ahead. It clipped off of Rod Brindamore's stick. Oh, and a good solid hit on Deadmarsh by Rob Blake. Blake thus far in the two games has been the most impressive hitter for Team Canada. Pass tipped. They were trying for T.Fleury, but instead got Brian Leetch of Team USA. Nearly 2.5 played in this third period. Brodeur hooked it so Dejardin could play. Walled by Adam Deadmarsh. It's turned back on for Fleury, who tries the other way. That clicked off Bill Guerin. Guided back up to Joe Sakic, who's in. Sakic across. S.Stevens with it. Wristed one, and a pad stop made by Richter. Forced back off. Stevens couldn't get it. Back up comes Deadmarsh. Dejardin is there to defend, and so it's into the catching glove of Brodeur. And then Dejardin. 3 minutes gone in the third. Wayne Gretzky's pass is over now. Fed by Linden for a backhander, and another shot by Dom Busing, still another, and Richter comes up with it.
What a play by Grettzky. He brought somebody to him, dumped the puck off, all of a sudden 2-on-1, and Richter was there on Dom Busing.
Second period, they touched on a key that JD brought up before the game. 5-on-5 chances, still a dramatic advantage for Team USA. Power play is okay, but Team USA controlling at even strength. He talked about the low rotation, cycling. Team Canada has to do that. If they don't, they won't get back in this game.
Team Canada with the puck. Adam Foote has it there, turning it along for a pass by Linden that escapes near Coffey.
You know, and keeping that in mind, Mike and Jim, I think it's smart for Team Canada to stay on the penalty box. Team USA out of the penalty box.
Gretzky shot, another shot, and that one blocked by the defense. Good work in front by Team USA.
What I'm getting at is Canada's power play has been dominant so far in the tournament for them as far as their scoring goes. They're not getting anything at even strength, so if USA stays out of the penalty box, it just makes sense for them just to try to be smart. Let's watch the next time that Lindros comes on the ice. Whenever he's been out there, Team USA has put Brian Leetch and Darian Hatcher as a defense pairing against him. Gretzky here, and I think Gretzky's played very well in this game. He gains his zone, looks around, nobody open, the shot. Tony Ammonti, the forward, does a nice job blocking the shot, especially with Trevor Linden going to the net of Mike Richter. Canada will jam the net. They're very good at it with their big forwards, look for deflections and rebounds.
You may have noticed that was Ammonti hurting at the bench, and why wouldn't he after stopping that? Br.Hull has been a force in this game. He has a goal and 2 assists and has figured on all 3 of the last Team USA goals. The first one came when the score was 2-1 Canada. Niedermeyer's shot went wide. Picked up by Gretzky. Tries to get a pass in front. Plenty of defensive coverage by Team USA. So it's Blake. Tried for Dom Foose. Lifts it back in. Gretzky striding after it. Richter there to guard. Darian Hatcher trying to get away from Gretzky. Little pass ahead. Deadmarsh leads for Modano, but he was in early, and so an offside call.
Modano had the breakaway, but Deadmarsh had a little trouble controlling the puck. Modano had snuck in, or he had sneaked in right in behind the defenseman, had an open zone. So Canada, they have to forecheck, they have to get deep, and at the same time, they may give up a little offense to Team USA. I think Rob Blake, you mentioned about his hard hitting for the defenseman. I agree with you. And to think that he only played 6 games last season with Los Angeles because of a severe knee injury, he's made a very strong comeback for this Canadian club.
We don't dwell on history a lot because the makeups of teams change so much over time. But earlier we saw the 5 Canada Cup competitions, and Team USA had never won one. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's Modano moving in. Crosses and a shot saved by Brodeur. A remarkable move by Mike Modano. But Brodeur stopped him. Pass up now for M.Messier. Messier around behind, getting away from the hook attempt of Matthew Schneider. Messier has the pass broken up, and he's back on defense. Big shot by Kevin Hatcher, got the glass. Boy, oh boy. Scott Stevens taking over for Canada. 5:10 gone, third period. Canada trailing by 2. Nice move by Ammonti. This is Brian Smolинski. Smolинski tries shifting from defense to offense again. Puck laid ahead for Ë.Lindros. The big man from Philadelphia moving in, got it on over. For a play to be made by his teammate Rod Brind'Amour. Then it's T.Fleury taken out of the play, so it's advanced by Suter. Stolen away from him by T.Fleury again, but it's Suter once more. Intercept, and a shot by Sakic that went wide. Now it's foot rolling it around, and Sakic again, hit by Suter. Shoved down to the ice by Chelios with Brind'Amour.
But Chelios made the last turnover, which led to the Canadian shot. So Chelios got mad. He went right back at Brind'Amour, ran him, and then Brind'Amour ran Chelios. And this is getting nasty.
A 2-on-2. Moving in with it was Ueigt, dropped it back for a shot by Suter. That's deflected high by Brodeur. Good opportunity there for Team USA. Now Joe Sakic 1-on-4 as Team Canada changes.
Last year's NHL season, Doug Weight had 79 assists. That's as many as Wayne Grettzky had. A great playmaker, and he just set up another scoring chance for G.Souter.
Could not come up with that one. It's drilled back in by Linden. Around it comes near Dom Fusto. Darian Hatcher, younger brother of number 4, Kevin Hatcher. It's moved back out, but off the stick of Hull and an offside call. With 13:16 to go in the third.
The last time that Lindros was on the ice, it was not Darian Hatcher and Brian Leetch. It was a different pairing of defense. So at the pace quickening here, Ron Wilson, the USA coach, doesn't seem to be as concerned with those particular matchups. Look at Chelios. He's mad. He'd already created a turnover. There's a shoving cross-check on Rod Brind'Amour, who's extremely strong. That tells you the strength of Chris Chelios when he's able to knock Brind'Amour over like that. Chelios, he'd given the puck away on the other side of the ice, got his team in trouble. Here, he gets mad. He gets even, if possible, and he shoved Brind'Amour down.
Back to play. Madonna put it in on goal. The best players from these two nations competing tonight in the new Core State Center in Philadelphia. Team USA is ahead in the game by a count of 4-2, and a shot by Otto, and saved by Brodeur. Joel Otto escaped right in front and got a good chance on Brodeur.
Brodeur made now 2 or 3 great saves in a row with his team already trailing by 2 goals.
It's fed back for a shot by Niedermeyer that's tipped high. Glove down and played along further by Linden. Around behind it, sent to Grettzky. Grettzky looking to the front, still looking, put it off the outside. Puck fed back around near the point. Blake tries for it, but it's knocked away. Joel Otto goes for it for Team USA. Minnesota native couldn't come up with that one on the defense, though. And back ahead with it, Team Canada. Keith Primo of the Detroit Red Wings trying to get by. Swings it around to the corner. Moving up for it is Lindros. Fed behind for Kevin Hatcher. Steered back out, and Ueigt moves ahead with it. Handed it on, but the pass couldn't work for Leclere. Now Leclere, a rising shot has hurt the goaltender Martin Brodeur.
Some fans cheering here, and that's sad to hear. That was a great shot by Leclere, but I think it went off the right shoulder. Maybe the collarbone of Martin Brodeur, a great young goaltender. In fact, I think Canada's best young goaltender for their entire country, the goaltender of their future regarding international hockey and maybe the Olympics in Japan. Did he ever take a rocket of a shot from John Leclere off the right shoulder or collarbone? Curtis Joseph, who played in Game 1 against Russia, backing up. It looks like Brodeur may be okay. Man, did he take a shot. Wow. Now the fans who appreciate, Mike, you're on a power play. You're just starting the power play. It's a neutral zone face-off. You have a 2-goal lead. You have to think of every option. Offense, yes, but defense also. And Brind'Amour made a great play to get loose. Over on the right side. Look at Ueigt. The play there by Linden. Look at that. He took 3 Americans, 3 USA players, and dumped the puck off to Brind'Amour, and Richter challenged and made a nice play, forcing Brind'Amour wide. That was a terrific face-off play by Team Canada. Team USA sloppy on the play.
Rod Brind'Amour saw this arena for the first time inside today. He said he was sort of superstitious, even though he's in Philadelphia and the arena has been built. He has never wandered over and looked through it until this morning at the practice.
I mentioned this a number of times. This arena is really something. It's big, but the sight lines, the stands and all levels are close to the ice surface. You can be up high, but you're close to the ice surface itself. And I understand they've got all kinds of things you can do interactive-wise in the corridors and have some fun. The house that Ë.Lindros helped build, huh?
Had an awful lot to do with it. Puck chip loose in front. Niedermaier flips it back out. Mike Modano ahead, and Niedermaier on him. Mike Modano trying to recover. Kick back to Chelios. Chelios sped it along. It went by Smolинski. Ammonti tried for Smolинski. Puck check loose, and it came to Messier. Able to step by one. M.Messier for Team Canada. 45 seconds for them still to kill. If they do this, they will have about 5 minutes and 9 seconds of full strength action, barring further penalties, in which to get back into a tie.
Canada was going with offensive forwards, killing the penalty. Domfus, Messier, Sakic. They need offense badly. So they were trying to find a way to generate that offense. Here's an offside as Otto went over the blue line ahead of his teammate with a puck. Again, Canada now only has 21 seconds to go on the Fleury penalty, but penalty killing, and you're down 2 with 5:31 to go in the third, you take chances. You put offensive players on the ice and hope for offense when you're killing a penalty. You can bet that Ronnie Wilson and Team USA made his players alert to that fact. In fact, here, Mike, with only 21 seconds to go, Deadmarsh and Otto on the power play. Deadmarsh and Otto have been penalty killers. They haven't been on the power play much. They're out there to make sure nothing happens with Canada and their offense.
Snyder triple to pass through, and here might be an odd man rush for Team Canada. Nope, U.S. gets back. Domfus' pass hung up, and a shot went off some players in front. Still they scrap for it. Richter didn't see it for a moment, but then hangs on.
That was a play. We heard Paul Holmgren and talking to Jim Fox a couple of times this game say, be smart at the blue line. The last play where Team Canada was at their own blue line, Team USA did not get the puck deep, even on the power play. You've got to get it deep. You didn't. They didn't. And Glenn Sader's club turned the puck over short-handed, and you could see they forced the play around Mike Richter.
John, let's review Glenn Sather's keys as you saw them. Need to get 4 lines going in the game.
Well, that was tough when they lost Lemieux right away, but I don't think they've had the sustained attack that Glenn Sather wanted, especially deep in Team USA's zone.
Play better 5-on-5.
Didn't happen at all.
Hit, hit, hit.
I think earlier, but Team USA is a fairly good-sized club. I thought in the first period Canada did. They controlled the boards with their hitting, but not in the second period and not in the third period. Team USA has had the tempo their way. And defensively, they've been very good, Team USA has. Very good. If it's broken down, Mike Richter's been there.
Gretcki moving in. Shoots one, and that one swept away from the front of the goal by the defense. Darian Hatcher did that. Move back ahead. Scott Young moving in. Here's Young for Hull, but that was through him and guided back by Lindros onto Gretcki. Gretcki just wedges it in. Darian Hatcher goes back to get that. Yanked it along. Smolинski tried to play further. Darian Hatcher helped it along more. 4.5 to go. Ammonti drops it back in. Martin Brodeur there. Paddles it back along for Niedermaier. Niedermaier's pass gloved by Smolинski. And it's drawn, and the deflection by Lecler was saved by Brodeur. Started back up for Ë.Lindros. Checked off. Lecler flipped one that Dejardin got a piece of. Now the big scoreboard clock above center ice gets to the smaller numbers. Under 4 minutes to play. Bill Guerin starting ahead. Puck picked up by Mark Messier. Long-time hero of Canadian hockey, Messier moving in. Messier checked off by Kevin Hatcher as the chant of USA, USA rings loudly again. They spar for it once more. It's flipped wide by Graves. Kevin Hatcher sends it on. Joel Otto brings it further as Bump still trying to escape but can't. S.Stevens hands it over to Rob Blake. Blake with a pass that's too far. Sakic couldn't get there. Darian Hatcher could. Again, Canada must recoil. Over 3:15 to go now in the third. Brindamore to Sakic in front. Save and another save by Richter. A good short side shot by Joe Sakic. Be another offensive zone face-off in front of Richter.
The last one was one clean by T.Fleury. Glenn Sather along with Mark Crawford and Eddie Johnson, they the three coaches, they have the computer going upstairs, like Jim Fox mentioned, Mike. They also keep on the computer who's won what face-offs and how many and who against. So they can take their player that they want, put him on the ice to try and win a draw. Now, interesting, Lindros wasn't on the ice the last shift. He's not on this one either. And we're late in the third. You wonder if it's just because Lindros isn't getting offense, or is the hand bothering him? Linden takes the draw. Only one man back, and that's Coffey. Team Canada's going to try and set him up for the shot.
Grettzki and Primo are the other two forwards for Canada. Blake and Niedermeyer, or check that, Blake and Coffey, the defense. Leach steps to the puck. Team USA can move it back. Edmarsh trickles it in. Martin Brodeur sets, fires it back around, waiting is Joel Otto. Otto shoveled one right on goal. Poked around behind Bill Guerin, centers backhander, and Brodeur got a piece of that from Edmarsh. Now it is Grettzki. Clock has ticked down to 2 minutes to go in the third. Dumped over the shoulder of Leach. Leach carried off by Rob Blake. Still the sparring continues, and it's Edmarsh. Stiff pass on to Joel Otto, and he just finesses it back out. Tipped in by Dom Foose. Chelios to play it there. Chelios right back out. Dejardin grabs it there. Skipped one back. Nice puck control. Hand-eye coordination by Chelios. Chicago-born defenseman rails it back in. Chipped back along for Dejardin. With 1:25 to go, and Canada has to get 2.
Brodeur leaving the net.
6 attackers for Team Canada. Puck lifted along by Doug Weight and back down well wide of the empty cage. 1:08 to go, and icing call.
And timeouts available to both teams. The last face-off to the near side, the left side of Mike Richter. Otto was against Linden. We thought Linden would go back to Paul Coffey, the only man back. In fact, Linden was looking back at Coffey 3 or 4 times. Puck was dropped. Linden went forward. Misdirection play to try to set up offense and fool Team USA. Marty Brodeur is on the bench. The face-off will be deep in USA's zone. Timeout has been called by Team Canada to set up the offense. Now Lindros will be, number 88, will be on the ice. He can be dominant on draws. We saw him win a couple earlier in the game. Will they go with him or Fleury or Messier? They're all centermen. Fleury, remember, won that last face-off he took in the same spot where this face-off will be.
Is there quite a bit that Glenn Sather can do in terms of diagramming something that's unique that Team USA might not expect?
Well, I think the biggest thing here is you've got Team Canada with Coffey with Detroit, Fleury with Calgary, Messier with the Rangers, Lindros with the Flyers. This is a short tournament. They haven't been together very long. Sakic with Colorado, Linden with Vancouver. You've got to get on the same page. Now, even if they've practiced it, you have to discuss it again. Discuss what to do if you win the draw, what to do if you don't win the draw, who they want back. Do they want people at the net? If you lose the draw, does your left side might go way over to the far boards and expect the puck to be flung around the boards to keep it in the zone? All this has to be discussed. For Team USA, they'll go with Joel Otto again on the faceoff. This will be another big one for him, and he's had many of them throughout the years. And yes, Lindros with those big man, but quick hands will take the draw. Only Coffey back again. Lindros has the option, folks. He's a right-handed shot. Will he shoot the puck towards Richter, or will he try and draw it back? Messier jumped in quickly there. If there was a tie between Otto and Lindros, the Canadian player Messier would have tried to get in quickly to find the loose puck. Now Lindros has been tossed out because Messier went in early. So they send Fleury in to take the draw, and he won the last faceoff at this spot that he took.
And he wins this one to Coffey. Shot, kicked in front, loose puck, score! Team Canada and Wayne Grettzki, and it is now a 1-goal game with 1:03 to go.
Joel Otto, along with Lindros, tossed out of the circle. Fleury, the little guy, beat Doug Weight on the draw. And when that happened, Glenn Sather's team went to the net. Look at Fleury, second effort, 1-2. They now have it with Coffey on the puck. Look at Grettzki. And you know, he didn't get that clean past Richter. And I think it may even have gone underneath Richter and not over top. Let's find out. Richter sees the puck, goes down. Gretcki's got a rolling puck, takes his time. Oh, it did. It went off of Richter and it slid over top and over the goal line. So all of a sudden it's 4-3. Marty Brodeur, the Canadian goaltender, back in. So now we have 1:03 left and only a 1-goal game. Oh, fasten your seatbelt.
Coffey and Fleury get the assist on Gretzky's goal. The time of it, 18:57. Lindros working along with M.Messier and Linden up front. Chelios the big drive, the pad stop by Brodeur. Gretzky tried to flip it along, but it's kept alive by Team USA, and a shot deflected right into Brodeur. Loose puck guided away by Otto, swept away, but pinching is Chelios. Back to Otto behind with 45 to go. Otto stood up by Coffey, still the battle on. Now able to peel away with it is Linden. Brodeur to the bench. 6 attackers are out for Team Canada. G.Souter has it for Team USA. Able to turn it away, and it's angled back out, and here comes Br.Hull moving in. Scores! 5-3, Team USA.
And they're celebrating here in Philadelphia. Br.Hull, 4 points, gets the empty netter. Joel Otto had a marvelous shift working the puck deep in the Canadian zone, knocking time off the clock. Team Canada tried to get the puck deep, but Lindros was met, hit hard at the blue line. And Team USA responded with the empty net goal. There you see the play where the puck is shot out nicely. Hull knows he has time and he'll score.
Team USA goal scored by number 15, Br.Hull. Assist number 19, Ueight.
Ueight gets the assist on the Hull goal. All the years of high-profile tournaments with low-profile finishes by the U.S. against Canada. But tonight it changes. 5 seconds left. This morning, a team that is hastily put together, like all of these in this tournament,